Walking Meditation for Healing Heartbreak. I'm Ben Ufana. In this video, I'm going to be guiding you through a practice that can help you work through the intense emotions that often arise in response to a breakup and other forms of relational drama. If you have the opportunity, you may find it especially helpful to listen to this while walking slowly and quietly, allowing your awareness to settle into your body as you move. Because there is so much depth and detail here, I will be reading directly from the text. In my late 20s, I reconnected with someone during the Earth Day Festival in Kansas City whom I had met briefly a year before. We ended up spending the evening together and things progressed rather quickly. She came over to see me the following weekend, and after that, she completely ghosted me. Although I ran into her a few times in the coming months, she was unwilling to communicate. At that time, I was quite vulnerable and naive. I was not very cognizant of the attachment wounding, and I did not yet understand the painful relational dynamics I was reenacting. One evening, I was sitting at home, flooded with all these painful emotions, and I felt I had to get out of the house, so I took off walking. Instinctively, I dropped into the sadness and grief I was experiencing and began breathing from their depths. As I continued to breathe while walking, I soon noticed that the distressing emotions were softening and becoming more diffuse. Brookside and the adjoining neighborhoods in Kansas City go on for miles. I began going out in the evenings after dark and walking for hours at a time. As I continued walking and breathing in this way, I could sense that the emotions that were normally held, compacted inside my body, began moving, flowing through not only my body, but also through the energetic field surrounding it. Also, as I kept walking, I could feel the Earth's own electromagnetic field helping to cleanse and diffuse these emotions, making them easier for me to assimilate. Having felt a strong pull to return to the desert Southwest, I eventually moved from Kansas City to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Rather than walking through the neighborhood where I lived, I began walking in the afternoons along a series of trails or a dirt road that ran parallel to the Rio Grande. During those miles-long walks, I would breathe softly and deeply, dropping further and further into the depths of the feelings and bodily sensations that were surfacing. At times, it felt almost like entering a trance state. On two separate occasions, the first of which happened while I was still living in Kansas City while I was out late one evening for a walk. The second after I moved to Albuquerque, walking along the dirt road parallel to the Rio Grande. And one of the two, these couples, would be looking at me and saying, "Your eyes are glowing." And then look at their companion and say, like, you see that, don't you? And their companion would then affirm, like, yeah, they are. That they weren't just imagining it. Still carrying the traumas of my childhood and adolescence and struggling with the painful attachment wounds, I could feel that the walking meditation was helping me to diffuse the intensity of the emotions that would often surface when I felt lonely or when relationships were not working out. During the cooler months, I continued walking along the Rio Grande. In the hotter parts of the summer, I would walk the trails in the Sandia Mountains east of Albuquerque. Later, when I began traveling to the East Coast for work, I would walk along the bike paths and through the neighborhoods in the Boston area. And later, when I began traveling to Sri Lanka, I found myself walking through the village areas in the south of the country. And then after the war ended, I was even using Google Maps to navigate the Kilinochchi district, Nainativu, and Jaffna by foot during my long stretches of walking meditation. The emotions that arise in response to breakups, divorce, ghosting, and other relational drama are not only painful, they could also be difficult to digest. They can also place a tremendous strain on the body. While I encourage people to sit and at times even lie down with their emotions, breathing softly and deeply from their depths, there are also times when the pain becomes excruciating. When you feel overwhelmed and need to stabilize and ground yourself, the walking meditation can be especially helpful. Ideally, find a safe and quiet location. As a man, I have often gone whenever and wherever I felt like walking. Although my friends in Sri Lanka have often cautioned and even yelled at me on occasion about how dangerous it has become in recent years, especially with the proliferation of methamphetamine use. Because of that, even I have become more cautious than I once was. For women, it is important to exercise even greater caution. Once you find a safe and quiet location, whether a park, national forest, bike path, or the neighborhood you happen to be living, stop for a moment and tune into what is happening in your body. You may initially find it helpful to close your eyes as you do this. Bring to your awareness any concern you may be dealing with and notice how you are feeling in response to them. Or simply notice where the feelings and sensations happen to be present in that moment. Breathe softly and deeply while fully immersing your awareness in the depths of what you are feeling. Then begin walking at a gradual pace. As you walk, continue opening to and dropping into the depths of whatever feelings and bodily sensations are present within you. The primary focus during the walking meditation is on what you are feeling in your body. Your breath supports the process, but the most important thing is to remain connected to the feelings and bodily sensations that are surfacing. Walk at a gradual pace so you can stay present with what is emerging within you. As you continue walking, breathing softly and deeply while remaining immersed in your felt experience, emotions and sensations will often begin to surface more readily. The movement helps your body begin digesting whatever is arising rather than holding it in place. As you walk, the alternating movement of the body engages both sides of your brain. This rhythmic, bilateral motion helps to facilitate emotional processing and integration. Many people noticed that feelings which seemed overwhelming when they were sitting or lying down begin to soften and are more easily metabolized as they continue walking. Whether you are in the midst of a breakup, you've been ghosted, you're dealing with other painful relational drama, or stressful life circumstances, walking meditation can be especially helpful. It helps mitigate the intensity of the emotions that arise during these periods. As you continue walking and breathing from the depths of what you are feeling, the practice will help to stabilize you, allowing you to feel calmer, become more grounded, and move through the healing process with greater ease and grace.